Okay, good. We are ready to go. Hello, it's LaTisha bringing you another expert interview for you guys here in Marketing Tools and Tech. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here with Daphne Leblanc. Daphne is the CEO and social media trainer and strategist behind Cafe and Laptop. I really like that name. She comes with over 15 years of marketing and training experience and almost 10 years of social media marketing experience. She's really passionate about teaching business owners the power of social media. So Daphne, thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much, LaTisha, for having me. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, so as you know, we here in the Marketing Tools and Tech group, we really like to geek out over marketing, but specifically the tools and the tech that's required in order to essentially duplicate ourselves. Because, you know, it can get a little hectic trying to manage all of the information that's out there in this online world. So I really appreciate you kind of coming today to help us talk about some business automation, some social media strategies and whatnot. So before we get started, it would be great to hear from you in your own words, kind of what your business looks like, what you do for your clients, and give us a little bit more background about you.
Okay, sounds great. Well, at Cafe and Laptop, we are kind of threefold. We are a training company, so we provide social media and digital strategy trainings, and those are done as a group and also one-on-one. We are also a management company, so we help you develop your social media strategy, and then we can actually manage it for you, which is exciting because we all hear so often, I forgot to post on Facebook today, I forgot to post on LinkedIn today. So we take that over for small business owners. And last but not least is consulting. And that's just kind of, people could either contact us to pick our brains. They're looking to launch a product or a service, and they're like, I just can't figure out how to put it all together when it comes to social media. And we just come in and we help you set everything up.
That's awesome. Okay, so you've got sort of the three pieces there. Which would you say, so someone who's just starting out, and they're a business owner, they are like, I need to get my social media together. Where is the first place you would say that they should start? And I think we can go into a little bit more about LinkedIn, kind of talking about that specifically, but where would you say someone would start if they need to just start with their social media right now?
Okay, I am going to be, I'm going to say LinkedIn because I'm a LinkedIn junkie, but outside of LinkedIn, I would say definitely LinkedIn and Facebook. Why? Because Facebook, as everyone knows, is the largest social media platform out there. But the next thing is LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is super professional. So a lot of times people go there looking for you. They'll be able to put in some keywords to find someone who does specifically what you do. And if you're on LinkedIn, you end up getting larger clients and kind of much more visibility with maybe a clientele that you would have never anticipated.
So, okay, so going over that clientele that you wouldn't have anticipated, are we talking about potentially speaking engagements, corporate contracts, maybe some of the larger contracts? What sorts of business can you generate on LinkedIn?
And that's a great question. You actually can get those corporate clients because that's where the corporations are going to look for people. They kind of go there and kind of go through the web and look at your profile. They make sure that you have particular keywords in there before they even look in other places. And even HR, that's where they are. So if you're looking for a corporate client, you're looking for a speaking engagement, you're looking to branch off and even do some freelance work with a larger corporation, you're looking to have, let's say, a lot of people are always like, well, I need to have a gig that lasts at least 6 months or a whole year. You tend to get those a lot on LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely.
And let me just give you an example. When I first started my business, I set myself up on LinkedIn, and I didn't even do it for visibility. I was just like, this is what I do for a living, kind of like you. So we're like, okay, we're going to do these steps because we're teaching people how to do it. And within like the first year, I had 3 people come to me to ask me to go on their panels in their company and their larger firms, which I would have never thought, let me just email this HR person and say, hey, do you want to work with me? It was the other way around. They contacted me and was like, hey, do you mind being on our panel? We're looking for a social media specialist to come and give their perspective.
Okay, so going into that makes absolute sense. So, okay, so using LinkedIn for lead generation and trying to get those larger contracts. You mentioned keywords. What can we do to our LinkedIn profile so that we can get those contracts? Where would you say that business owner who is the brand of the business, where should they start?
Okay, I believe the first thing that you should do is take a step back. I am a pen and paper girl. I will tell you, take out your pen, take out your paper, and write down all the things that you hope your name pops up for. Meaning, if someone is looking for a Black-owned female business, I want my name to pop up. So I'm going to write that word down. I'm going to look for someone who does financial assistance for small business owners. I'm going to write that phrase down. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to take 10 to 15 minutes to write all of those different phrases and keywords, because that's what those are, and say, when people search this, that's what I want to be found on. And then what you're going to do is take all of those words and you're going to draft your summary. And you want to ensure that as many of those keywords are in your summary, so that when people are searching on LinkedIn, they're going to, because LinkedIn pulls things via keywords, then when people type that in, you are more than likely going to show up in searches.
Okay, so you're writing down all of your keywords, you're writing out your summary. Is that going to be similar to your bio, or is it going to be a little bit different?
Okay, there are different parts of your LinkedIn profile. So you have, of course, your summary. That is kind of your bio in essence, but I tell people it should be more conversational, more engaging. It's not just, hey, Daphne comes with 10 years of experience doing this. It should be, hey, this is what Daphne loves to do. When she presents, these are the kinds of testimonials that you hear. So you want it really conversational and engaging so people stop and actually read through it. Then you have what people tend to use LinkedIn for. They have the resume aspects of it, which tells you what kind of work you've done, who you've done it with, etc. You have an area that has recommendations. So you definitely want to pull those because people read them, and you could always link those when people contact you and say, hey, how do you work? What do people say about you? Sure, no problem. I have a link directly on LinkedIn where you can see my recommendations.
Okay, great. So we've got the profile, and I went through recently and sort of redid my profile based on kind of some of those things, like looking for keywords and things like that. I've heard that you should also start essentially friending or connecting with other people and sending out those requests. How do you do that in order to bring in the people that you want, the connections you want to make, and ultimately those contracts that you want to get?
Okay. That's kind of another kind of step as far as writing down. We all have the ideal person we want to work with, right? So you want to make sure that you write down, or you have some place somewhere that says, here's the ideal set of people that I would like to work with. And from there, you can start searching them on LinkedIn. So if you have a free account, you can only search to a certain extent, which is like your first and second degree connections. And that's okay, because if you search those people, you'll start connecting and growing your network of people. I highly recommend that you don't just press that button, hey, I want a connection. You want to, and this is, because so many people are like, oh my God, Daphne, I wish I had known that before. And it's okay. Let's say you and we meet. I don't need to go say, hey, we just met 15 minutes ago. No. But if it's someone that you haven't connected with, it's always nice to say, hey, I noticed that we have a lot of similar interests. I would love to stay connected with you here on LinkedIn. Plus, I find that you post a lot of valuable information. You know, just kind of make it friendly and a little bit more professional, because you want to be able to stand out after they say yes to the connection. You want to be able to stand out in their feed. Let's be honest. If someone sends you a connection and you just click on yes, there was no description, and they come through your feed, you're not going to pay attention.
Yep, you won't even remember.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But if someone goes and puts a little note, the next time they come through your feed, you're going to be like, oh, I remember this person. And it just kind of, emotionally, we gravitate toward those people.
So you're a small business owner, maybe it's you, boutique, small or whatnot, and you're using LinkedIn because you actually want to generate business, right? You want to start bringing in more than just maybe the corporate contracts or whatnot. Like maybe you're looking for B2C, or maybe a little bit of B2B. How do you use LinkedIn for that?
Okay. So now that we've talked about having a really nice profile, we've talked about how you make the connections. The thing is, what do you do after you make those connections? First off, it's kind of that rule of thumb. You don't make a friend and then go sell them. We never do that. But you can definitely have some templated emails that you send people. Hey, we've been connected for about a week. I've been following you. I would love to just have a virtual coffee date with you. And you could put on the bottom, P.S., I don't plan to sell you anything. I just really want to know who I'm connected with. And make it genuine, because often people are like, well, Daphne, that's not really the truth. Well, then don't send that email if it's not the truth. Because we all want to do business with people that we know, like, and trust. Yep. But in order to do that, you have to start knowing, liking, and trusting those people. So it's definitely a great opportunity to go in there. And I'll be honest, not everyone you send those messages to are going to respond right away. But you're going to get a nice percentage who do, and you're now leveraging your network. And what happens is then people start tagging you, because they'll see a post and they'll say, hey, Daph, this sounds like something that you would do. How do they know that? Because we had a virtual coffee date. And then from there, I just send them a great thank you email. It was a pleasure getting to know you. And every time they go and share some really important information on LinkedIn, I'm going to like it, share it, and comment.
Okay, so you start making those connections. You do your virtual coffee date. How do you set that up? Do you do something similar to this, like just a little Zoom or Skype or something like that? And how long are you wanting those to be? How often do you want to set those up? Are you setting those up over and over again with the same person? Like, what is your process for that virtual coffee date?
I think you have to go with your gut. Now, first off, I definitely tell people, let's do it for 15 minutes, because you want to always be mindful of people's time. And remember, you're not trying to sell them right away. Okay. So you want to just kind of feel them out. I've had some calls where they're like, this was so great. I'd love it if we do it monthly. I'm like, what? And that throws me off. But what's really nice is that sometimes by the third month of these 15 minutes get to know you, they're like, hey, Daphne, I have this company who told me that they were looking for a social media trainer. I passed them on your information. That's fantastic. Nice. So even though that person didn't become my client, they referred me to somebody. And then also what happens is that you keep them in mind. Sometimes you guys could even collaborate together, and that's even better. So you really have to go with your gut. And I tell people all the time, remember, it's not a take, it's a give and take relationship. That's how it's going to grow authentically, so that you'll always have continual leads coming in. And what's nice is that once you build these kinds of relationships and you have these virtual coffee dates, you could then say, hey, I noticed that you're connected with, let's say I want to work with the YMCA. I noticed you're connected with so-and-so from the Y. Would you mind, connecting us? We could even get, let's go on a Zoom, because maybe in the past you did a Zoom. I would love to maybe if you just connect that way. That would be awesome.
Awesome. So using this strategy, and you had mentioned Facebook earlier, could you use Facebook for this same strategy, or how is it different? Like, what's the environment on LinkedIn versus the environment on Facebook that makes LinkedIn a prime place to use a strategy like this?
Okay, that's another one of those fantastic questions. Now, I know both you and I are on Facebook, and I see your post, you see my post. Some of the biggest complaints that we hear about Facebook is that everyone's on there to sell. You go and you friends me, and you go, as soon as you friend me, you send me a message on Messenger trying to sell me something. You didn't even say, hi, how are you? Do you have children? What do you do for a living? We don't do that. It's almost like we have our hands up in the air when we're on Facebook. And versus when you're on LinkedIn, being that it is a very professional platform, people are not as nervous about having those conversations, because I think it's already anticipated that I am on this platform for a professional reason. And since I'm on it for a professional reason, it is to grow my professional network. I think what happens is when people do it wrong. It is when people just, hey, let me connect with you and then sell you. I think that's when we start having problems. And I think about maybe 6 months or a year ago, I remember there was a time when people started to put more engaging and personal posts on LinkedIn. People started commenting, this is not Facebook. If you want to put, and I was like, wow, what is going on?
Wow.
So it clearly is people putting their foot down and saying, this is what I expect to happen on LinkedIn versus what I expect to see here on Facebook. And if you ever, do an example for yourself, or even people listening to this, do a screenshot of your feed on Facebook and a screenshot of your feed on LinkedIn, and you'll see the different types of content that is shared on both of these platforms.
I feel like on Facebook, you're more likely to what I call reach the end of the internet. When I start seeing videos of like random people dancing, and it's just like, how did I even find this? I'm like, I've reached the end of the internet for today. I like close my phone and throw it. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Exactly.
So I feel like on LinkedIn, you like you said, it's a little bit more professional. The expectation is that we're here to network. We're here to grow our professional network. Even though I may not become a client of yours, maybe I can refer you to somebody, and so we can just start the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So is that something that say again?
One of the other things that I've seen on LinkedIn, and this goes with the collaboration and networking, is now that video is becoming a bigger piece of the pie across all social media platforms. I've even seen LinkedIn video tags where people are like, hey, here's a question, what do you think? And they end up tagging those people that they've made connections with. Now that's a fantastic way to engage, and mind you, the topic is a professional topic. It's like, hey, have you guys noticed some of the new tax cuts that are happening and how it's going to affect entrepreneurs? And then they'll tag some of the different tax specialists that they know, and these people now have an opportunity to respond.
Okay, I really like that. So you make like a short video of yourself asking a question, tag the people you want to answer, and then that starts the conversation.
There you go.
Okay, light bulbs. So, we're all about, automation and not giving ourselves more work, but figuring out ways to do more. Like I said, duplicate ourselves, maybe outsource it to an assistant or to our team. So how do you take these strategies and automate them so that you're not suddenly feeling overwhelmed because now you've got an entirely new LinkedIn strategy to handle?
Okay. I am a true believer in a scheduling system. Hands up all over the place. I truly believe in scheduling systems. The only time I don't the only things I don't let go through a scheduling system tends to be video. I have it on my content calendar as, okay, this needs to be uploaded at a particular time, just because I want to ensure what time it gets posted, that it looks really good in the feed. And sometimes I find that video is wonky regardless of what scheduling system that you use. But other than that, straight scheduler. And also I'm a diehard Netflixer. So when is it that I schedule my post? Sunday night when I'm watching Netflix.
Oh, okay. So double duty.
Oh, yeah. I pull out my laptop and I put something in there. And also, with so many of the different scheduling systems, you have Buffer, you have eClincher, you have all of these out here that have the little what do they call them? The little extensions on Chrome.
Yeah.
Great, because when you find a really good piece of content, you just click on that and you can automatically schedule. Because I use eClincher to do my scheduling. And
Okay.
if I have a really great article, I click on that little extension, I type in whatever content I want, and I schedule it for whatever day I want.
Nice. It's called eClincher.
That's what I use, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so 2 more questions.
All right.
1, what content calendar do you use? And 2, what show are you binge watching on Netflix currently?
Oh. All right. Now, as far as content calendar, I use something called Quip, and I house all of my information on there. The reason why is, even though I despise spreadsheets, as a social media person, it just seems like it's like no one wants to get away from spreadsheets. So I use Quip because I'm able to share that with my team, and we can edit on the fly and everyone can see the edits happening at the same time, which I really, really enjoy. And I then have them upload the spreadsheet, because you can download it as a spreadsheet and then upload that into eClincher, which makes it wonderful. Now, the big one. This is really important. What am I binge watching right now? Girl, just about everything. But the one that I'm really excited about is Travelers just started again. Season 2 or 3, or who knows what season. But whatever season they're on, I am watching that one right now.
Okay, cool. I've been watching Black Mirror. They have new episodes that just came out.
That is so evil. We have I can't watch it. I can't binge watch it. It's just too much, because after you watch one episode, you're just
you're like, what is this world coming to?
Exactly. I'm like, I think this could really happen. Think about that.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming and sharing. Is there anything else that you didn't get to share that you'd like to share with our members?
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess I can talk about my freebie, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. Tell us about your freebie, because the link is going to be above this video in the description box. So let us know all about it.
Okay, so since today we did speak a lot about social media, but specifically LinkedIn, I created a checklist, because everybody loves checklists, on how to create an optimized LinkedIn profile. Because I want to talk about starting from your picture to your summary to what kind of jobs you want to post up. Let people know if you are looking for stuff. So I have an easy to follow checklist that I'd love for you guys to download and could make your LinkedIn profile poppin'.
I knew that was coming. Awesome. Well, I will leave the link in the description for this. If you guys have any other questions for Daphne or for me, please leave them in the comments below this video. I'll be happy to answer. And Daphne, do you have a Facebook group where they can go hang out if you have more information?
I do have a Facebook group. We are in the middle of changing the name. So
okay. So we'll put that in the description as well then.
Drum roll. It is called Social Media Luminaries.
Oh, awesome. Light it up. Okay, good stuff. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one.